Hey guys, what is up? Today I'm here with my review of Visual Prison Episode 4. And bro, Eve. This is why Eve is my favorite character, aside from Robin. But Eve, a vampire hunter. Are you kidding me? Okay, so the episode starts off with, Ange wanting to make music, and Robin decided to say, let's have a housewarming party. It's for me, but really it's for Ange because Ange was kind of down in the slumps because he couldn't come up with a song. You know, the whole Scarlet Moon thing and making a song to it, yada yada yada, same old, same old. But aside from that, Robin really just said, nah, this is my house and y'all my family. Like, don't question it, anything of that sort. And I really rock with Robin like that. You need a Robin in your life. And he's preparing all of that. Of course, he kind of blew the microwave. That thing was smoking. And so he and Eve is just, they prepared all the food. And, the cake that they had was a callback to when, Robin and Ange were speaking about each other, and they said, Ange has the symbol on his hand for Oz, so Wizard of Oz, so hence the cake. The main character, I forgot her name, Dorothy, where she goes on an adventure and she acquires friends on her adventure. So that's basically Ange is in her position. He's on an adventure, starting a band, became a vampire, or is a damn fair, and now he needs to gather people to form a group in order to be part of the ritual, which is visual prison. So while they're talking and everything, and he got Robin to join, he kissed the symbol like how you kiss the boss for approval. We have where Eve is just experiencing all of this, and then he just dips. And we have Regilla like, no matter what you do, don't go outside. Y'all kids go to bed. Mind you, Robin did not sit well with that. Robin doesn't listen. This is why he's my favorite character. He does not listen, okay? So he's like, nah, ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. I'm 18, I'm old enough, I'm going out. So while they're going out, they bump into, actually a vampire. Looks like he was recently turned. Vampire bumped into them, so they went to go after him to see, hey, you okay? Because he's injured, obviously. They see blood. Come to find out, there are actual vampires who are vampire hunters. So some of them hunt vampires and even humans for a game. So this dude was mad creepy. I'm thinking, the way he was twisting his face, I thought he was a ghoul or something, but no, he's a straight vampire. And the older a vampire is, over time, they gain more power. So they have the ability to turn into mist, or they can turn into whatever creature. In this case, he turned into some demon hound. Something, think of along the lines of Alucard from Castlevania. He's able to turn into a wolf. So something like that. So he decided to go and hunt them. He hunted the young vampire boy, and then he saw Ange and Robin and said, oh, even more prey. Let's get to it. Then we see Eve come out of nowhere. I'm like, yo, you sure this is a musical anime? Because they just went full shonen with Eve just beating this vampire hunter and killing him by taking out his crystallized heart, crushing it, and then basically his remnants of his heart goes back to the Scarlet Moon. So that right there makes me question what happens. I mean, the body is no longer there, and I'm guessing because the Scarlet Moon acknowledges whoever and turns them into a vampire, which was the case for Eve, as we find out a little later after this. Once they turn and their hearts turn crystallized, because every vampire started as a human. Once their hearts crystallize, unless they do say there is a natural born vampire, but that has not been the case as of yet. But once their hearts crystallize, and if another hunter, vampire hunter, if you might add, comes and takes their heart, what happens to those remains? I know I'm asking all these questions, but it was really interesting to see that part, that after Eve crushed the crystallized heart, the remains just flew back to the Scarlet Moon. So I'm guessing it's gonna reuse that type of power to bestow on someone who it thinks is worthy to become a vampire and then join into the ritual, imprisoning them into that ritual if that's the case. But that was a little part that I found very fascinating. So we got into the history of Eve. Of course, Eve was originally human and looked from olden times, and Eve originally, even as a human, was a vampire hunter. So back in the day, you have to remember that Eclipse, once they won the visual prison, they made it a rule that vampires cannot hunt humans. They can't prey on them. But back in the day, prior to that, it was fair game. Like, humans was just a plaything for vampires. So they will hunt them, scare them, all kill them, whatever you can think of. So there had to be people that can combat against the vampires, and that was Eve. But what he then also realized was that some vampires still maintained that humanity in them and still wanted to be around humans. They still cared for them. And it showed a scene where he was in a church. He was dressed like a priest. So cool. A priest killing. Yo, it was just so cool. It's been used before, but it was just so cool. But he killed basically a nun. And the nun was taking care of the children looking at him with looking at Eve with pure hatred and everything. And then Eve is just like, oh my God, what did I just do? I became the monster. Because, like I said, there were some vampires that did not trouble humans. Instead, they wanted to be with them. They wanted to surround themselves with it. And he was doing the same things. Even though he thought it was right, it was justice in his eyes because of what vampires have done to humans. And he's like, I can't do this. And that's how, when you heard the song he was singing, the song sounded like a prayer, like someone come save me from myself, from what I have become. He was asking for help through his song, because from that one incident, even though he continued hunting vampires that troubled humans, he was still, hiding himself. And if he was to get caught, you can tell he would go somewhere else, change his identity, and keep hidden. So it did come to the point where when Ange and Robin saw all of this, he was ready to say, I'm escaping, I'm going to run away. I didn't want you guys to find out about this. And that's when he was telling the story of what happened to him and in his past, and how the Scarlet Moon also acknowledged him in his song, I guess, turning him into a vampire. And he was so scared about that. He thought, you guys wouldn't care for me. You found out that this is the type of person I am, and I'm going to have to leave everything behind again and start anew. But luckily that was not the case. Andrew Robin is like, no, we know you. We know what type of person you are. You're a good person. We know you don't intentionally try to hurt people. So to wrap it all up, Eve joined Oz. So now we're only waiting for Gil. And it goes all the way back to the beginning of the episode, where Ange is thinking to himself of what caused Gil, and this is also a question that we as audience have, what caused Gil to stop singing? What traumatic event happened in Gil's past when I believe it had to happen, and I'm 100% sure it had to happen during his days when Eclipse, when it was a 4-man band. Something happened in Eclipse that caused him to say, no, I just can't do this no more. I'm gonna say hitting. Something had to happen, and I hope they reveal that. And it comes like after the end of the episode, after the ending credits, we come to find out that Eve doesn't have no furniture in their room. The whole room looks like a music studio without the equipment. Eve has nothing in their room. Eve, what you do? All you do is sleep on the floor. That was so confusing. But now Eve feels like part of the family. Like Eve felt wanted for the first time in many years. So I'm really glad for that. All we need is now Gil to join. We find out the reasons behind Gil not singing. We hope to work through it. He joins Oz, and then, like I said, Battle of the Bands. But this week's episode of Visual Prison was, I loved it. I loved it. That action, them demon dogs. You see, like, bro, it was so cool. I was looking at the screen and I was like, that did not just happen. Like, Eve is a total badass. Behind that kind face is someone that will just murk you on the spot. So, Eve, this is why I mess with you, okay? So guys, do tell me your thoughts about Visual Prison episode 4 in the comment section below. I would love to hear it. How do you feel about this episode? Tell me your predictions as to why Gil no longer sing. And do you think if you agree with me, it had to do something with Eclipse? Like, Eclipse is the reason why Gil is the way he is right now. And the links are in the description box, so you guys could go check that out. And have a good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye.